Hello, everyone. Welcome to Durrett's Sake. Let's get started. So, in my last podcast, I revealed my playoff predictions for today and tomorrow, and Monday. And in case if you didn't watch or didn't get to hear, here it is again. I have the Bengals by a touchdown against the Raiders, Bills by a field goal against the Patriots, Bucks by 10 points against Philly, Cowboys by field goal against 49ers, Chiefs by 2 touchdowns against the Steelers, and Rams by touchdown against the Cardinals. Now, again, I'm going all chalk there, so and I know there's always going to be upsets on wild card weekend, so I know I'm going to be wrong somewhere, but again, that's just what I'm thinking right now. So what I want to talk about for this podcast is I want to go over all the NFL coaching openings because there's a lot of them. And what I did is that first I'm going to go over and rank all the job openings. Like, okay, which one's the best, which one's the worst, and then once I'm done with that, then I'm going to go ahead and go over who I feel like they're going to pick as a candidate. Now, who I feel like they pick as a candidate, that's not from sourcing or anything. That is just purely guessing. But let's get started with my rankings for coach openings. I feel like the Vikings job is the best opening right now. Now, of course, you're looking for a new GM as well, so you have to make sure whoever the new coach is, they can vibe with the new GM as well. But you get a veteran quarterback. Now you could use to upgrade the quarterback position, but it's like you can draft to someone and then have them sit behind Kirk Cousins until he's ready to be moved on. And you have a bunch of skills player. Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, their tight Irv Smith, and I think his name is, and then Dalvin Cook, obviously, and an emerging good, solid offensive line. So it's like, and then so you got a bunch of pieces. Now you do need to draft a few pieces here and there in the secondary for the Vikings on defense, but you can fix that in a hurry if you do it right. So I feel like and plus, if Rodgers does ends up leaving Green Bay, the division's wide open and easy to win every year. So that's why I feel like the Vikings head job's the best one right now. The second best head job is the Broncos, and this would become number one if they had a quarterback, like Rodgers or something, but they don't at the moment. Um, but also the other worry though is that if whoever takes this up, you're in a tough division because you have to face Andy Reid and Mahomes, Herbert, Carr. So it's just like it's going to be tough sledding. But at least you have like a very capable, very good roster that all they need is just a quarterback, and maybe one or two players on defense, and then bam, you're rolling. Third is the Raiders. Now you may be surprised that the Raiders have it this high, but you got your QB and Carr. You don't have to worry about that like Broncos do, and even Kirk Cousins to extent, or Dolphins. Like you have your quarterback. Now you do have some holes you got to fill in the roster, especially that secondary. Um, but I mean, Gruden had a lot of say in the draft choices, fantasy choices. Um, so if he was able to have a lot of choices, and I feel like whoever the new coach is can have a lot of choices, and if you know your personnel and you can draft good, then you're going to be able to build up the team pretty quickly. And now again, you're in a tough division, same division as the Broncos and everything, but at least you have a quarterback, and that's all that matters. Four is the Dolphins. Now you may be thinking, great defense, good skill position players. Why is this ranked so low? Well, one is because O-line is horrible and desperately needs to be fixed, along with the quarterback position needing to upgrade. But second is that it looks like the ownership and GM, kind of micromanages the coach, and when you have a meddling owner, it's never a good thing. It's hard to do something. It's hard to accomplish things when you have a meddling owner. Five is the Chicago Bears. Like the Miami job, you're gifted a good defense. And this time, we do think Justin Fields is a promising QB, even though he hasn't shown a lot yet. We do think, there's potential there. Unlike Tua, we kind of see it right on the wall. But if he is the franchise QB, time will tell. But the problem here is that you have bad cap issues right now, basically, and you have so many older players on the roster that are getting expensive. So you kind of have to. I know it's more the GM's job to kind of figure out that and all that, but as a coach, you're probably gonna have to decide, okay, which players you want to give up, which players you're not, and then you're gonna have to, again, like Miami, you have to, start from scratch and rebuild that O line again, which is horrible. So good luck with that. Also, also being Chicago, being a very demanding city, it's not going to be fun if you don't have immediate success. Six is the Jags. Now you're thinking, why the Jags are six? But I mean, at least you have Trevor Lawrence now. I know he played horrible this year, but he's a rookie. Their talent is there. He just has to show it. And The problem here, though, is that there's so many holes in the roster. It's going to be a long rebuild, along with having a questionable GM and all that. Um, but it's not worse than what I think is seventh place, and that's the Giants. It's like where to begin with them. Like the Dolphins, they need a new quarterback and get the line fixed. Like the Bears, they're over the cap and have some issues to deal with there. And like the Bears and Vikings, whoever they hire has to, have similar views to the new GM, or else it'll make things a lot more difficult. Um, Whoever takes this job, though, I don't think they're good. Some people say, no, this might be just be a retooling job, but it's like I don't think it's a retool job. I think it's a full-on rebuild. The Giants screwed up the last three coaching hires, so the bright side of whoever gets a new coaching job is that the bar is set pretty low. And then last but not least is the Texans. So where to begin? The team has, to improve in mostly every single position. Don't forget they still have to trade Deshaun Watson. David Mills is probably better than most people expected for his rookie season, but is he the answer at QB? Probably not. So whoever they trade for Watson, they might have to get a quarterback back in return. Now, the one thing that's encouraging is that if I'm the head coach of Texans, is David Culley, even though he had no experience as a head coach and all that, and one thing that he was good at is that he got his players to play like Dan Campbell for the Lions. Even though they're a sucky team, at least they played hard and fought hard. So if you're a coach, so whoever the new coach is, if you're respected and all that, and you're a good coach, so you're going to get players to buy in pretty quickly. But other than that, you're going to have to deal with the Titans and the Colts, who we assume will be better, and obviously talented Trevor Lawrence. Again, just a lot of holes to fill, so it kind of seems like a long, long rebuild, along with bad ownership, in my opinion. So, and now there's two more spots that could be open. Carolina was one of them, but they already kind of said they want to bring Matt Rule back, and especially since they're looking for the offense core now, they wouldn't be doing that if they were going to fire Matt Rule, because they would kind of like do that, first before they go on a big extensive search for a new offensive coordinator. So I feel like he's staying. And then other ones, Pete Carroll. But I feel like if he's going to be fired, we probably would have heard something by now. So I'm just going to assume he's there for at least another year. Okay, so now, like I said earlier, I want to go over my coaching hiring predictions. Now, for the Vikings, since they had a older coach, defensive guy, a lot. This is what a lot of GMs and ownerships do. They, for the most part, they always go the opposite route from what the previous coach is. So the Vikings are a defensive guy. Now I feel like the Vikings are going to hire Brian Daboll, the Buffalo offensive coordinator, as next head coach. It makes a lot of sense if they hire him because he's gotten the Buffalo offense really good. He helped Josh Allen progress. From potential bust to all of a sudden a potential top five quarterback in this league. And he's done it, in a tough division where he has to face defensive mind Brian Flores, defensive mind Bill Belichick. So it hasn't been exactly easy. So I feel like that's a perfect fit. Now you can also go Eric Bieniemy, he's the like offensive guy and all that. There's plenty of offensive guys, so it's hard to go wrong per se. But I feel like they're going to go Brian Daboll there. Next, the Broncos. This is a little off the radar hire. I feel like they're going to go Nathaniel Hackett, the offensive coordinator for Green Bay. And the main reason why is because we all know the Broncos want a quarterback, upgrade quarterback. And Aaron Rodgers is more likely the quarterback between Wilson, Watson, and all that they're probably going to get since, Rodgers wants to be out west, closer to California and all that. So I do feel like if they can lure a package offensive coordinator, then they might entice Rodgers, to definitely want to come there. Now, obviously, if they shouldn't make a coaching hire like that because if they get this coaching hire and then Rodgers decides not to come, then it's like, well, then you get top guy. But I feel like they're going to be risky. They're trying to go big at quarterbacks. That's what they're going to do there. Next is the Raiders. Now, this one I was just completely guessing because I can see them staying with their current interim head coach since he's done a good job, got them to the playoffs, all that, and wouldn't surprise me at all. Now, this one, if Jim Harbaugh decides to leave college, I feel like this is the job he will take. Now, my prediction is, again, I'm 50-50 on whether Jim Harbaugh leaves or not. I'm predicting that he doesn't leave Michigan. And if that's the case, they're going to go. Now, since they had a offensive guy, John Gruden, and special teams coach, you may feel like they're going to go defense, especially since their secondary is horrible. It wouldn't surprise me if they go defense, but I feel like they're going to stick with offense here because and as the Raiders have seen, Vic Fangio, even though he's a good defensive guy, can't do You can't really do a lot with a good roster, and they kind of just need to outscore teams like the Chiefs and Chargers who are in their own division. So I feel like they're gonna go big here, and I feel like Eric Bieniemy is finally gonna get hired and get the gig here now. Was Eric Bieniemy bold enough, to stay within division against his mentor and Andy Reid? I'm not sure, but we'll see. Dolphins, I feel like they're gonna go offense here. I know since they had defense with Brian Flores last time. Um, and I feel like they're going to go with an in-state hire and go Brian Leftwich, the Tampa Bay offensive coordinator, because Brady's not a mobile quarterback and all that, but is able to be very efficient. So it's like, so Miami's thinking probably, well, if we can get we already have weapons, so if we can just fix the offensive line, then Brian Leftwich should be able to get the most out of Tua. Who's pocket passer, not a mobile quarterback either, like Brady is. So that's just kind of my reasoning there. The Bears, I don't know why this one I kind of feel really strong about out of all my hiring predictions. I feel like the Bears are going to go with Doug Peterson, the former Philadelphia Eagles head coach. I just feel like, well, one, you can say, well, Nick Foles, since Nick Foles there, even though Justin Fields is a starter, if Justin Fields, gets injured, like he did this year, then, okay, they can win games with Nick Foles. Doug Pearson will get the most out of him. Um, but since even though they already had an offense guy and Matt Nagy, I feel like they want to go someone with Super Bowl experience, which Doug Pearson obviously has. And I feel like as was played out, a lot of people blamed Doug Pearson for that Philadelphia collapse last season. But as we can see, especially Carson Wentz, struggling down the stretch, not making the playoffs, so it looks like that's more Carson Wentz's fault than Doug Pearson's fault. And also maybe Otis' fault as well. So I feel like Doug Pearson's definitely going to get a second chance here. Next is the Jags. I'm going to have them go with Bill O'Brien. And then there's a bunch of interesting options there. Because I definitely feel they're going to go so with head coaching experience. Because since, they just went Urban Meyer with the rookie route and that didn't work out, they're not going to want to hire another rookie head coach or just, a coordinator promoting head coach. They want someone with experience. And since, Bill O'Brien, just came from Nick Saban and all that in Alabama, I feel they're going to hire him. And Bill O'Brien, he won games. He got to play with Rick Osweiler, so if he can, so it's not just Deshaun Watson make him look good. So if he can do that, then he can make Trevor Lawrence play better and do good and help that Jags offense, not be anemic. So I feel like the Jags are going to go Bill O'Brien there. The Giants, I feel like this is off the radar higher. I feel like they're going to go with Kellen Moore, the Dallas Cowboys offensive coordinator. As we saw last 2 seasons ago, whatever it was, when Jason Garrett got fired from the Cowboys, they stole him to be offensive coordinator. So I just feel the Giants are going to just try to steal within the division again. And Kellen Moore is the hottest candidate within the division, so I feel like they're just going to go after him to try to fix their bad offense. And the last but not least for the Texans. Now, since Nick Sirianni, the GM, is a Patriots guy, the rumor has it they're probably going to go a Patriots guy. So whether they interviewed the linebacker coach for the Patriots, but since that's just position coach, I doubt. They're going to make a guy go from position coach to head coach like they just did with David Coley. I doubt they're going to do it. So that means they're either going to go Josh McDaniels, the offensive coordinator for the Patriots, or they're going to go with a current free agent, former defense coordinator for the Patriots, and Brian Flores. Out of the two, I feel like Brian Flores would be the better hire there. They need a culture setter and all that. Now, of course, since the GM is bad, Brian Flores may not want to have that job with bad ownership and all that. So they may want to go Josh McDaniels route, especially since he can finally leave a tough division and be more in a capable division, especially since if the Texans could get the number 1 pick next year and suck again, then they can get Bryce Young for Alabama. So that might be enticing. But in the end, I feel like Texans want to go with more experience here. So that I feel like they're going to go Brian Flores. But again, I could be wrong there. But I definitely feel like they're going to go with the Patriots guy. So that's it for today. Thank you for listening to my podcast. Please subscribe to my channel and tell me about me. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.